This is the story of a king and his faithful knight. A knight who worshipped his king for his indelible character, incredible authority, and unattainable charisma. A king who ruled the streets of the 80s and 90s and was revered by many as the god of two strokes here in India. A bike that gives you goosebumps even to this day as you cast your eyes on its seemingly ageless design with power, supremacy, and sovereignty oozing via each and every element. A bike that was and is and forever will be the very definition of perfection. A legend in the world of motorcycles and an immortal to be celebrated forever. A bike that is always game. Yamaha RD350 is thy name. This is the tale of the king who was banished from his kingdom with the invasion of the four strokes. As fuel economy took prominence over riding pleasure and compromise took prominence over rebellion, the king was dethroned and sent into exile, but his loyal knight always believed that the king would return one day to reclaim his throne and waited eagerly for the right time and hour. Over the decades, many went searching for the king to bring him back from the wilderness, but they could only get a glimpse of him. Many thought that the king had died, but one fine day, the knight woke up and realized that the people around him were being blindfolded to believe that the new age motorcycles were the rulers of this kingdom. Bikes with electronic aids and technologies that deprived the people of experiencing the true freedom, the raw power, and the sheer thrill that a motorcycle has on offer. The knight then realized it was time to bring his mighty king back from the wilderness such that people would know, realize, and understand the true joy of motorcycling, experience the true meaning of motorcycling, and celebrate the true spirit of motorcycling. He wanted the people to realize that motorcycles are best enjoyed when they are allowed to soar without any limitations. So he went searching for the king and found the king torn and beaten up by the perils of the wilderness. He then carried the king in his arms, worked on his wounds, and spent everything he had in order to resurrect his mighty king back to life. Such was the faithfulness and the loyalty and the respect that the knight had towards his king. While we all can relate to the king as the legendary Yamaha RD350, the faithful knight here is my dear friend and biker brother Mohit from 36 Moto, a custom bike builder, a true visionary who believed in his dream, a person who trusted his calling, a person who backed up his instincts instead of giving in to the pressures that tried to weigh him down, a true fighter who, despite being knocked down many times, got back up on his feet and continued to fight to see his dream come alive. A dream to see the legend returning in all his glorious splendor and being enthroned as the righteous king who will forever reign in the hearts and minds of the people. I would call this an epic journey, a journey that had storms raging all around Mohit emotionally, mentally, financially, and even physically. But still he kept on believing, he kept on pursuing, and instead of focusing on what was happening around him, he kept on seeing the glory that lay ahead of him. He could paint the picture of the beauty and the majesty of the king being restored in his most glorious form, like Thor returning with the Stormbreaker weapon in the Infinity War movie. So despite the pressures trying to weigh him down, he started sculpting the masterpiece with his bare hands. Everything that you see on this bike is handcrafted with sheer passion and inexplicable love. So with the king being given his new attire, the bike was christened as Arrow, a weapon that symbolizes courage as it finds its way through various obstacles that come in its way and shatters through them until it hits the mark right on the spot where it was meant to reach. And then it came to pass at one of the most prestigious motorcycle events to happen here in India, the India Bike Week 2017, the king made his presence felt and stood victorious among the biker built-off competition. A proud moment for me to cherish as Mohit's friend and a fitting reward for all the grit and determination that went into reincarnating this legend. And I always believe that when you give anything your best shot, you give it everything you've got without holding yourself back even one bit, that's when the world comes together to applaud the effort. So, this is how the tale ends, with glory surrounding the worthy king and applause and recognition embracing his faithful knight. Because when passion fuels the fire within you and devotion defines the demeanor around you, what follows is sheer glory that surpasses all expectations. This is Dino signing off. Until next time, take care and always believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will.